Former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said today that Syria's President Bashar al-Assad has agreed to withdraw troops and tanks from his cities by April the 10th. But Assad has made a lot of promises over the last year as he's tried to crush the popular uprising against his dictatorship. Over the weekend in Turkey, the United States met with countries from around the world to talk about how to help the rebels. And that's where Clarissa Ward caught up with the Secretary of State.
There are no signs that the Syrian regime will live up to its promises. Yesterday, Secretary of State Hilary Clinton sat down with us and said this about the Assad regime.
We think Assad must go. The killing must stop. The sooner we get into a process that ends up there, the better.
Yesterday, Saudi Arabia and a group of Gulf states announced a $100 million plan to pay the salaries of rebel fighters inside Syria.
We were recently inside Syria, and the rebels tell us that they have no ammunition left, they have no money left, and that their only recourse for self-defense is to build IEDs or bombs.
You were there, you know how hard it is. We think we have some assets that we can get in there, which we will try to do, that will enable them to have better communications.
Do you see any signs that Bashar al-Assad is starting to crack?
Well, today we heard from a deputy oil minister who defected. We do see those kinds of cracks. We think that the defections from the military are in the thousands. We know that there are, perhaps 24
But there haven't been more defections in the way that we saw in Libya from Assad's inner circle.
Well, partly because when there were a couple of defections, the regime has cracked down and is basically holding families hostage. But that is an unsustainable position. You cannot turn the whole country into a giant prison. People are not going to put up with that after a while. So we think that there are cracks. I can't put a time frame on it, but we think that that is beginning to happen.
Clarissa Ward joins us now from Istanbul. And Clarissa, I wonder, the $100 million in aid from the Gulf states, how would that get distributed exactly?
Well, Scott, we don't know when it will be distributed or the exact mechanism for getting it to those rebel groups inside Syria. But what we do know is that all of the money will be channeled through the Syrian National Council, which is the main political Syrian opposition party. Obviously, that is in the hopes of creating better organization, better unity, and better coordination between all those various rebel groups, because all of them will have to go through the Syrian National Council to have access to those funds.
An attempt to stitch the rebel groups together. Clarissa, thank you very much.